I mean, defensive
coach, Eric.
Yeah. Oh my.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Think of
Sorry.
football right now.
I got football on my mind. I'm sorry.
He's the Knicks' Casey Rogers, right, Dominic? But listen.
Same thing.
Listen. I understand why Knicks fans are upset. It's just hard for me to feel sympathy for them when the Nets are one of, if not the worst franchises in the NBA.
I love my team.
Hey, you know, it was funny. After the lottery, I texted Mark Talkowski, who you can hear on Sports Talk on this station every Thursday night at 9. He's a good friend of mine. He's the only other Net fan I know.
Yeah, definitely.
I texted him, do you want to go to a shrink together? And he didn't watch it. He didn't know that the Celtics had gotten the first overall pick.
How did he feel once you told him?
He had resigned himself to it early, but I'm sure he was still upset.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I had resigned myself to it, and I know I blew up earlier, but I had resigned myself to it in July that the Nets were going to do this. It still stinks.
Oh, gosh.
It still stinks.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Of course it's the Celtics. It would be one thing if it was like the Phoenix Suns or the Lakers, a team that the Nets are never going to see, but a team in their division, the Boston Celtics, the most storied franchise in NBA history, a team that's in the Eastern Conference Finals. The rich get richer.
Number 1 seed.
And that's why I
it's
told you guys
yeah,
I got to
seed,
give
exactly.
Danny Ainge Executive of the Year, man. I mean, I know you guys were going
No, I could see
Golden
it.
State. I mean, you guys
I
had
went
one
with
for the
Bob Myers,
yeah.
but if Danny Ainge got it, I wouldn't be upset.
He's been looking good in recent years.
Yes, he has.
And made Billy King look bad.
Well, Billy King didn't need much help with that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. And I despise Billy King with a burning passion, but there were 2 trades that he's gotten a lot of flack for that worked out.
Okay.
Darren Williams and Joe Johnson.
Those are probably his best 2 players.
Darren Williams worked out for the Nets. Yes, they gave up on Derek Favors early. Yes, they gave up 2 first-round picks. But you know what? Darren Williams gave gave the Nets something that they desperately needed. Identity. It was someone that the Nets could build around. And Darren Williams was good for the Nets. He had a horrible final season.
Oh, yeah.
The media and the fans ran him out of town.
But yet
you know,
again, that's for any player in New York.
I mean-
you see any player that starts to do bad, and all the fans will start hating him. No
Well,
matter
it's
how
different.
much he's done for the team.
It was different because Williams was just so overpaid. He got a max deal. He got a huge max deal.
They did, yeah.
I'm telling you, Darren Williams worked out for the Nets. I'm not going to kill Billy King on that. And Joe Johnson worked out tremendously for the Nets.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time when Joe Johnson was the best player on the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And they ended up giving up the scrubs on the roster for him. It was Jordan Farmar, Anthony Morrow, Deshaun Stevenson, Johan Petro. Absolute jokers that the Nets were able to turn into Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
And then Gerald Wallace, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, that basically negated all the goodwill that Billy King had built up.
I mean, like you alluded to earlier this year when we talked about
we can talk about the Nets this much.
No, I mean, it's not even. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's pretty exciting for you, but man, not really. But okay, so let me just get to what I'm saying. All right, like you alluded to earlier in the month, when you bring stars to a new town, you guys just came to Brooklyn. Right? Didn't you need a main attraction for fans to come through?
Yes.
So that's why that's the best reason why Billy King made that decision. Or you think for any team in general?
Which acquisition are you talking about?
I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Darren Williams or Joe Johnson?
No, Joe Johnson, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce coming to the team.
I'm going to be really honest here. I am nothing if not honest. I liked the Garnett and Pierce trade when it happened.
Okay.
I bought the hype. I did. And I used to run my own sports blog. It doesn't exist anymore. I don't even remember the website.
Yeah.
But I had picked the Brooklyn Nets to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals that year, beating LeBron James's Miami Heat. And I'm going to tell you why I did it. I did it. Because in the regular season, the Nets swept the Heat. The Nets swept the Heat that season. But then it was 7 games to beat the Toronto Raptors, and the Heat destroyed the Nets. Made me look like an idiot. But it was a fun team to watch.
I actually liked watching the Nets during that year.
It was fun while it lasted. I went to a game. I had a Paul Pierce shirt. I had a shirt that said the big ticket. I loved it. I truly had. I was watching a Net game. They were advertising it as their item of the game, and I bought it. I loved it. I never understood the truth, though. That nickname I never understood.
Because he would probably always come true in the clutch or something like that.
Yeah, he was,
Okay,
I think that's why they did that.
I
He was
like
never
Paul
false.
Pierce. I like Paul Pierce. He's one of the best players in
I don't
NBA
No,
history.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
that.
Wait, what?
He said he's never false.
Like
No,
he was
no,
never-
no, no, that's
I
not
don't
it.
think so. No, I'm just saying. I'm
It's
thinking
just a
of
stupid
reasons.
nickname.
Yeah, it's
The
just-
Big
everyone
Ticket is
has
so much
a-
better.
Yeah, like the
I
Big
think
Ticket.
it's probably about like coming in clutch.
The Big Ticket.
That's what I was trying to tell.
Yeah, I'm
Dominic.
pretty sure that's it.
Yeah.
The Big Ticket's a million times better. And then Paul Pierce went to the Wizards.
Which he
Garnett
looked good that year. For
looked
only
very
1
good.
year in Western.
Nets should have
he looked good.
re-signed him. They didn't.
Yeah.
That was a great move.
I don't.
And Kevin Garnett fell off a cliff. We're able to get Thaddeus Young for him. Thaddeus Young I liked. I like Thaddeus Young. Was sorry to see him go. It's frustrating. Frustrating to be a Net fan. You're listening to Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, Brandon Johnson, Dominic Arbolino, and Eric Fischetti. Number to call if you want to talk sports is 516-572-7440. And should we go to hockey, guys?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Do it, baby.
All right, let's do it. Why not? Conference finals. Dominic, you had to be happy last night.
No, I wasn't actually. I wasn't at all. Actually, I was at my friend's
I loved
house.
your deadpan delivery of that. That was great.
Yeah, no, I was at my friend's house last night, and I saw they were down 2-0, and they actually tied it up. 34 seconds left in the game.
I
It
was
was
watching the
Forsberg,
game.
I believe, tied it up, and it goes into overtime. I think it was maybe like 9 minutes into overtime.
Was it 9 minutes into overtime or 9 minutes left? I think it was 9 minutes left.
I think it was
overtime.
9 minutes left.
All right, well, you got my point. And so then Corey Perry just throws one to the net. Somehow,
And it
PK
hit off of
Subban,
Subban,
yeah,
right? It hit off of
Subban, yep,
Yeah.
and then
It was a
game
crazy
over,
goal.
just like that. That's like with hockey, just get the puck to the net. You never know what could happen.
Oh, yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I've said that a million times with the
Like,
Islanders.
Just get it to the
million
net.
times.
Just
Doesn't
get it
matter
to
how the
net.
shot gets there. Just get it there.
Don't look for the perfect shot. Put the puck on net. Anything can happen.
Especially if there's a crowd in front of the net, too. Like, the goalie's probably not going to see it.
Yeah.
Live time, I thought it hit off Nate Thompson, former
Yeah.
Islander.
Yeah.
But then when they slowed it down on replay, it hit off of Subban. And, it was like, okay, that's got to stink for Predator fans.
Yeah.
But, man, I'll tell you, it was a good game. It was a really good game. Ducks fell off
That's
a cliff.
going to be a good series.
The Ducks fell off a cliff in the third period of that game.
Oh,
An
yeah.
absolute cliff. And Ottawa-Pittsburgh. Matt Murray will start tonight.
I wonder why Eleanor's not here.
Yeah, she got too
She's probably
upset.
shaking
She's
at
going
home
to-
a little bit.
He's going to the game tonight. She didn't take me. We don't have the true hockey maven here. I miss her. Oh, my goodness. The average looks of this place just went down about 20 degrees.
There you go.
So, should we get to NHL award predictions now? I love it.
Yes.
I love NHL award picks. I've been waiting for it for a while. They kept announcing the finalists, and it's so great to be able to finally do this. The Hart Trophy finalists were Sergei Bobrovsky, Sidney Crosby, and Connor McDavid. Who did you guys have?
Want to
All
go
right.
first?
I'll go first.
Sounds good.
All right, so I
Sounds good, Taylor
said
Hall.
I feel as if the league will give it to Sidney Crosby because of the player he is, and he had 89 points, and just being
The face
to
of
make
the
it
NHL.
to make it this far into the playoffs. Personally, I would like to see Connor McDavid win it, being able to leave the Oilers to where they were this year, especially, and they're just going to keep getting better. He had 100 points on the season, and I just think that's who I'd like to see. But I think that the league will give it to Crosby.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Eric, who do you have?
I think McDavid's going to get it because if it wasn't for the emergence after the season-ending injury, the Oilers wouldn't be in the playoffs this year anyway. He played all 82 games, 30 assists on 100 points.
70 assists.
Oh,
30 goals, 70 assists, 100 points.
Sorry, I wrote the wrong thing. 30 goals. Yeah, just what you said.
That's all right, that's why you
100
have me.
points and a plus-minus of 27. And as the youngest captain in the NHL, I think it just worked out for the Oilers, so McDavid gets my pick.
McDavid would get my vote. He's so exciting to watch. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
watching him. That was one great thing. That's the best thing about the NHL and the NBA playoffs. You see all the Western Conference teams that you never see. I mean, who knew that Connor McDavid was this good? Who knew that Leon Draisaitl was this good? Who knew Cam Talbot was this good? Yeah, the Oilers, they're out of it now. They lost their last game of the season, so nothing matters. But it was just really fun to see them.
Oh yeah, and they're just going to keep getting better. They're really young.
At some point in time, in the next 5 maybe 10 years, there will be an Oilers-Leafs Stanley Cup final. That is my bold prediction.
I would love that.
Wouldn't that be great?
But Matt
so
Martin's
different.
going to win a cup before the Islanders, probably.
Hell will freeze over before the Islanders win a Stanley Cup. The Norris Trophy. Brent Burns, Victor Hedman, and Erik Karlsson. Dominic, you started the last one, so we'll go with Erik.
I think Erik Karlsson's going to get it because, to me, he's what the ideal captain and leader should be.
You rank leadership very highly.
I do, because you know what? I think it speaks very volumes to the team. I think the team plays around a very good leader, and the Ottawa Senators are just playing up to par. I mean, like, granted, Karlsson's playing injured, but I think the team's really playing around him. 17 goals, 54 assists, 71 points. I got that one right. And a plus-minus of 10, and I think that Karlsson, and before I go on, he seems to be in the running every year.
Yes.
And to me, I think he's one of the top defenders in the league, so I think Karlsson gets it.
Erik Karlsson, in my opinion, is the best offensive defenseman in the NHL. Not great defensively. He's not horrible. He's not great. But he is, in my opinion, the best offensive defenseman in the NHL. And there's a place for that. There's a place for that in the NHL. Dominic, who do you have?
I actually agree with Erik. I said Erik Karlsson easily. I said, he almost had as many points as Burns did this year. And, his team is just striving better than the Sharks have. And I just see, again, Erik said, Karlsson's in it almost every year for this trophy. So it's kind of hard not to give it to him.
Okay, I see your point. I went with Brent Burns. He almost had 30 goals. He led the NHL in points for a defenseman. Had an amazing year. It's amazing the versatility he has, because sometimes the Sharks will play him at right wing. Sometimes he'll be the defenseman. The versatility he has really, really given Todd McClellan...
Yeah.
No, not Todd McClellan. Who's the Sharks coach? I can't remember off the top of my head. He's given the Sharks a lot of versatility. Used to be Todd McClellan. He went to Edmonton. That was a smart move for McClellan.
It was a very good
Going
move.
to Edmonton. Get away from the old farts, Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau. Go to Edmonton. So you're listening to Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, Brandon Johnson, Dominic Arbolino, and Eric Fischetti. Number to call, if you want to talk sports, is 516-572-7440. And we are talking NHL award predictions. The Vezina Trophy. Sergei Bobrovsky, Braden Holtby, and Carey Price are the finalists. One of these names does not belong here. Dominic, which one do you think I think it is?
Carey Price?
Yes. Carey Price does not deserve to be a Vezina Trophy finalist.
No. I
Not
don't
even
think so
remotely
either.
close. He's a really good goalie. Excellent goalie. But did not have a good year this year. I'm surprised Cam Talbot didn't get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Finalist. Cam Talbot had a great year.
Maybe even Pekka.
Pekka Rinne could have gotten it. Cam Talbot had over 40 wins. I mean, he had an excellent year
He
for the
did.
Oilers.
He's one of the reasons that the Oilers made it.
Yeah, of course. You can't win without a good goalie.
Nope.
Hot goalie with a hot team, yada,
Oh,
yada,
who said
yada.
that?
Nashville Predators,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
Dominic.
You had to be.
Jake Allen was awful, I get it, okay.
So who do you have for the Vezina?
I said this is a tough choice, but I think whoever wins, you can't argue it. But personally,
Unless it's Price.
yes, but Braden Holtby. He's just such a consistent goalie. He does it every year. I don't care if people say, "Oh, well, the Capitals are an all-around good team, so that's why he's so good." It doesn't matter. He's incredible. There
are a lot of good teams with lousy goalies.
Yes,
That's true.
Exactly. So I don't know. He's
I
just.
hear you. I hear you.
I don't even have words to say for it. It's just that he's so good.
This was a tough pick for me between Bobrovsky and Holtby. In the end, I went with Holtby. Eric, who do you go with?
I went with Bobrovsky.
I don't blame you.
I'm picking him because if he got the heart, it wouldn't be fair, because I don't like when people get the same award. I know you don't like it either.
Correct.
But he makes a good case for himself because Columbus wouldn't be where they were without him. And I just think that he's the biggest reason why the Blue Jackets honestly came out of nowhere this year, because
Yes, they
they
did.
came out of the gate flying, and they just stayed consistent, and I think Bobrovsky's a huge part of that.
I'll tell you the biggest part of the Blue Jackets' success, and you're right, Bobrovsky was a big part of it. The biggest piece was John Tortorella.
Absolutely.
He worked wonders for that team. He made Cam Atkinson look like the second coming of Rick Nash. Who saw that coming? Hey, I remember when Rick Nash...
Regular season Rick Nash or playoff Rick Nash?
Regular season Rick
Okay,
Nash.
okay. I'm just making sure.
Regular season Rick Nash on the Blue Jackets. Hey, I remember when he was on the Blue Jackets. He was a damn good player. I mean, those were fun. That was when I was able to root for him. And then